Welcome back to Fashion with Sort Out YouTube channel. So in today's tutorial, we are making use of this Ankara fabric. It's 2 yards, then this ashoke. Okay, so this is basically what I need for this tutorial. Now I've folded the fabric into 4. As you can see, I folded the whole 2 yards into 4. So the first thing we will do is come to the edge of the fold and then mark 1 inch for shoulder slant. After the markings, I'll take my ruler and make a connect of the neck to the shoulder rather to the neck, as you can see me doing it. So afterwards, the next thing we are going to do is take our tape rule and then mark out 10 inches, which will serve as our sleeve, I mean the arm opening. So that is 10 inches. The next thing I'm going to do is extend the line like you see me do. On that extension, we are going to mark out the hip measurements. Now for this gown, because it's a free gown, we are going to make use of the hip, which is the biggest measurement on the body. So I then added like 4 inches to it as is allowance. Then I extended it. Now I'm going to mark out first before continuing. We'll mark out the length of the gown. Okay, so the length of the gown, the gown is on the nail, so the length we actually need is 37. I then added 3 inches to it for all the joining, the shoulder joint and the shoulder joining, and then the hemming of the gown. So afterwards, I will extend what I have on the chest, which is the hip measurement, right? I will just extend it down, and then I marked out another 1 inch outside so that it will be the sewing allowance. The initial 3.5 is the ease allowance, then the other 1 inch will serve as the sewing allowance. The same thing I have here, I'm going to mark at the hem too and then make a connect. And next I will take my cuff roller and then place it at that arm area and then make a curve so that that area will not be sharp. You see the way I did it. So then the next thing we are going to do is cut everything out. Now that we have everything cut out, the next thing we are going to do is work on our neckline. So for the neck, we are going to be cutting the back first, and what we are going to use is 3 inches width and 2 inches depth. So I'm going to mark it out and then cut it. Now that we have it cut out, the next thing we are going to do is to separate the front from the back so that we can work on the front. And here is the front, it's folded, and then we are going to get the neck. So for the neck, I'm going to make use of 6 inches depth. The neck is in form of V-U shape, so that is why I'm just going to be cuffing it like this. So it's not a straight V, as you can see, it's a bit cuffy at the depth of it, and that's why I'm making use of my cuff ruler to connect the joints. So like I have 6 inches depth and then 3 inches width. So right now I'm going to cut it out, and afterwards we'll proceed to the plackets. Okay, so for the plackets, just like we have it on the main fabric, I'm using this pattern paper to cut it out accurately. So I first of all mark the 3 by 6 inches which I have on the fabric. You remember, I hope you can see my markings. So I'm going to make a connect of it, and the next thing I'm going to do is come to the shoulder and then mark 1 inch to form the shoulder slant. So now I have marked the 1 inch. I'm just going to connect it to the neck for the slant, and afterwards on the shoulder slant I'm going to mark 3 inches. So for the neck width, I mean for the facing width, so I need 2.5. So I added ½ inch to it to give me 3, which will be sewing allowance. The ½ inch will be sewing allowance. Do you understand? So the next thing I'm going to do is come to the neck depth, the initial neck depth we had, which is 6 inches, right? I came up by 1.5 inch. So I marked it out, and then before I connect it, I'm going to extend that point on that 1.5. I'm going to extend it out as you see me do it. So the next thing I'm going to do is measure 3 3 inches also on it. The 3 inches I have on the shoulder slant, I'm going to mark it there also, and afterwards I'm going to connect the point together as you see me do it. So after connecting the points, the next thing I'm going to do is come to the end of the line, you see. Okay, so I'll also mark another 3 inches. Do you understand? So I'm going to mark another 3 inches and then take my ruler and make a connect. That is another connect, you know. I'm going to connect it, and after that, so on this extension, on this new extension, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. This is another 4 inches. But before I continue, let me just label all the inches I have. So on the shoulder, I had 3 inches. This is another 3 inches. At the next side, I came up by 1.5 inches, remember. So the next one is the 4 inches. So I'm going to connect it and also label it so that you can see what I did. So this is 4 inches extension. Okay, so let me just label this 4 centimeters, so 4 inches rather. So now the last part. Okay, so to get this, what I'm going to do is know the length of the facing. So for the facing, where I want everything to stop is the under bust, and the under bust is 13.5. So I've marked 13.5. So all I'm going to do is just connect the 4 inches, okay, to the 13.5. As you see me place my ruler, so I'm just going to connect it, and the next thing is for us to cut it out. After cutting it, this is how it came out. So the next thing we are going to do is take our ashoke, and so this is the ashoke. Like I said, all I'm going to do now is fold it and then cut out the length I need in 2 places. Remember, one can't be enough. One of the fold can't be enough for the width of the placket. So I'm going to cut out 2 and then join it. So here I've joined it, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is, you see the way it is. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is fold it into 2 as you see me do it, and then place my pattern paper, my facing pattern paper on it. Okay, so let me just fold it into the front so that we'll get it accurately. So now I have placed it. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark the actual length, which is 13.5 inches. That's the exact measurements we need, but I want to put a little twerk to this facing, and I want a fringe at the front. So I'm going to mark this side and then mark the other side, so that at the end of the day we'll be able to manipulate what we want to, you understand. So like I did to the other side, I'm going to do to this side also. I'll mark out the exact 13.5 inches and then extend it. I'll just extend it by 2.5 inches and then cut it out. Now after cutting it out, this is what we have. You see what I have. So what I'm going to do is remove the thread holding it so that we can have the fray, you understand. But before we do that, let's just cut all the necessary parts out. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to start removing the thread, and then we'll have the fringe. Just see the way I'm doing it. I'm just going to remove it, and then when you are doing this, if you want to, you must be very, very careful so as not to ruin the whole thing. Okay, so guys, after removing the thread, this is how we have it. You see how beautiful it is, right? Okay, so just the next thing I'm just going to do is place the ashoke on the normal fabric, the wrong side facing the right side of the ashoke, and as you can see, this is how it came out after joining. The next thing we are going to join is our pocket. Okay, so I'm just going to mark where the pockets will be placed, and then we'll fix it. Okay, from the shoulder I just marked out 19 inches, and then I'm going to extend the marking to the other side so that placing the 2 pockets on the dress will be accurate. After this has been done, okay, let me show you my pocket. So this is my pocket. You see, I've ironed it, I've pressed it around. I'm just going to place it. So but from the center, I'm going to mark out 3 inches from the center to the 2 sides. After the 3 inches, you know, I'm going to place the pocket. So I'll go to the machine, fix everything, and after fixing everything, I'll come back to show you how it came out. And of course, I'm going to be fixing the back. Guys, if you are stayed to this time watching this video, I'm very sure you got value. If you're here to subscribe to this channel, do well to subscribe, guys. Like this video, share it with your friends. Also press on the notification bell so that you can get notified anytime I upload a new video. After fixing the pocket, guys, this is how it came out. As you can see, I've gone ahead to join the back to it also, and this is the final look of the dress. Very beautiful. You see the joining of the ashoke, right? Look at the fringe. Everything just came out well, popping out like I desired it. Okay guys, see you in my next tutorial. Thank you for staying true to the end. Bye bye.